What is up, Nintendo Land? Welcome to Nintendo Open Air Podcast. A port or not a port? That is the question. Perhaps the greatest controversy to come out of E3 2018 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Is it a port or an all-new game? Depending on who you ask, it's definitely one or the other. Tonight we search the question, does Echo characters and new lights on Rob's chassis make Smash Ultimate the game fans have been hoping for, or does the disappointment continue as we finally see Smash, the glorified port? We'll be discussing Smash and all the news from E3 in tonight's E3 wrap-up, so stay tuned. Alright, so we might as well just get right into it. So, big E3 event happened. You've heard our pretty soon after reactions, and now Nintendo has officially responded, giving us several quotes declaring, "This is a new game." And I'll just open with those. Bill Trinen was the first to say Smash Brothers has never had a port. It's always a new game, and that's what this is.
Yeah. As much as I want to say something funny and stupid, like, it's really debatable as to whatever is a port and what is a new game, because from Mario Kart to Mario Kart, Smash to Smash, they always have older stages, older characters, and build upon that by adding. I mean, this one's got a few new stages that weren't in the Wii U one, although Mario Kart had the battle mode that wasn't in the Wii U one, so it's like, was that a whole new game? Well, they're calling that a port. It seems like a lot of the animations are very, they might be more polished, but
it's a gray sliding scale as to what's a port and what's a new game. But to me, look, we fit you trainers face moves now. Port.
Although
Rob now has a little light with a fuel gauge, but is otherwise exactly the same. Port. Go ahead.
They did change some of the smashes and the mechanics. Like, I know one of the mechanics that they changed that's going to be big for competitive players is they made it so that if you're dodging too much, it actually penalizes you and slows down your dodge.
Balance
there's
changes.
Like different. So yeah, I mean they've made some that'll make people are gonna have to relearn the game. People who play it competitively are gonna have to relearn the new timings and the different smashes and stuff. So, I mean, it's hard to say how much, but I think we'll have to wait till it comes out really to know. But I'm sure 90% of it or more is probably the same as far as stages and graphics and stuff.
Okay, so
finals. Bill Trinen's
go ahead.
Statement, but I mean just barely. Then go ahead. Go ahead, Z.
The final Smashes were a new addition in the last iteration of Smash.
Right.
Correct. And so it would kind of carry forward that they would expand upon that or whatever. Like, there's no similar substantial new thing in the play in the gameplay. You know what I'm saying? Final Smashes are a new development. They're kind of like the Mega Stones in Pokemon, right?
Right.
It's a significant step forward or advancement in gameplay and whatever, and there's nothing comparable to that in this version of Smash. That said, I'd have to think back on the old Smashes to say what kind of. I guess there were substantial. Like, I think that most of the single player stuff in Melee was pretty much new, right? There was hardly any of that in the first game.
Yeah.
There was
technically with Mario Kart 8, they just added going upside down, and I guess those bumpers that you run into when you're upside down that make you go faster. But you couldn't really even tell you were upside down because the screen flips. So it's like, but that was there. That was enough for them to call it a new thing. So
But would you say that
new stages, right?
Did you feel that Mario Kart 8 was a port of Mario Kart 7 then?
I didn't. No, I mean that one did seem like a different thing to me.
There was
Switch.
But it borrowed the gliders and the underwater stuff.
Well, that's what I mean is right. The stuff
that's
that
the natural progression.
Yeah, exactly. The stuff that they started in 7 or expanded on in 7, they expanded further in 8. They reused but expanded upon. Like, I don't remember those little pipes that with underwater that you can get jumps off of. I don't remember that. But go ahead, Eric.
Usually the debate about whether it's a port or a new game is moot because it goes from generation to generation, so the graphics are so different. That's enough to just call it a new game. But
in this case,
now,
you're right.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
Wii
And my
U to
case
Switch
was
is a
just-
straight across.
It's hard to tell when you're just tacking a number onto a game. Although they're not even tacking a number at this point, but I mean, it is hard to tell when it's a Mario Kart or a
But
Smash.
Eric makes a good point, though. Is there's never? I don't know. This is a really unique case where
Yeah,
you're basically where a console manufacturer has released basically a parallel capability console in the Switch.
Yeah.
right.
It's very, very marginally improved over the Wii U to be, just barely. There's
It's
here
a
and there
diagonal
we've
side
seen,
step.
yeah, right. We've seen, here and there we've seen some devs be able to eke a little extra power out of it that they couldn't on the Wii U.
Yeah.
But I mean, otherwise it's a lateral thing, and it's weird to say, okay, now we've got a new version of Smash coming out, and like Eric said, every other time a Smash has come out, like there's been such a giant gulf between the last console it came out on and this one.
Right.
And compared with the Wii U one, remember all the hype, like, oh my God, villagers in this one, and blah.
No, this isn't unprecedented. This isn't unprecedented. GameCube to Wii ports were relatively common too.
Yeah.
GameCube to Wii was very comparable.
To GameCube. Yeah.
But you're right. No, okay, GameCube to Wii, the only difference was motion controls. Now Wii U to Switch, it's a similar kind of thing where it's a form factor deal that's the change, but otherwise it's basically the same piece of hardware, or at least, a piece of hardware with comparable capabilities.
Was Ultimate Mortal Kombat a port, or was it? I mean,
that was on
had all the characters. No, it was. I don't know what that was on.
Let
but
me
they did one that had all the characters.
Let me pose this question. Is just adding all the previous characters, which there aren't that many that were left out in the previous game, does that make this an ultimate experience?
No.
Nope.
Bringing back characters nobody cared about.
Right.
Oh, Ridley. Now, new characters, sure, and there's some interesting new characters, don't get me wrong, but bringing back young Link and Pichu and some of the others I don't remember, but like some of those characters, as I pointed out before, they went away for a reason. Like they were just kind of useless clones of other characters that just didn't. Yeah. Like that's the other thing I don't.
Well, the problem is to be able to say you're putting every character
doing now.
To be able to say you're putting every character, that means you have to put every character. That's the downside.
Yeah. So
I still think they're not done. By the way, I think there's more characters that they're holding back. Obviously,
Sakura said there would only be a few more.
Yeah, Shovel Knight and Amy the Pink Hedgehog. And Goku.
Well, just like, I mean, how many hours would it take just to play a single match with all of them? How can you pick a character, settle on it, and decide, I like this character's moveset? When you've got, I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like I'm just going to pick a random character and go because there's no way.
The people in the know, though, will know which ones are OP.
Oh yeah, of course. And
until they balance it,
and then exactly until they change it. But right, when people gravitate towards those ones, and other characters will just get hardly used. But it's just like, I mean, I get it for like when you have little kids who just want to pick their favorite character and play. Fine,
that's me.
Yeah, I suppose that's me too. I mean, I suck at it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just like I'll go or Eric. Wow. What do you hope?
I have to buy every iteration because my sister likes it.
Wow.
So I'm gonna try to get her to buy this one on her own. But we'll see.
Good luck with that.
Will you play it?
I know, right?
Here's a question.
Because she'll want me to play with her.
So who's buying it? Who's on board here? Or a better question, who's not on board here?
I'm not on board yet.
Same here.
Oh,
I'm not either.
So so just me and Eric are the only ones that are pretty much.
I said I'm not on board right now.
You're not. So I'm the only one who's. I'm the only one who's pre-ordered this.
You pre-ordered it?
Yeah. You're the only one who pre-orders.
You gotta lock in that Gamers Club Unlocked, right?
Exactly. I'm locking in my 20% discount before they. Exactly.
If it wasn't for that, would you pre-order?
I would have waited.
Yeah.
And I could still cancel.
There's nothing that I've seen so far that has made me feel like I've got to have this game when it comes out. I'm going to be counting the days until its release.
The hype for the Wii U and 3DS was unreal.
Yeah, it really was.
That was unprecedented to me. Of like taking Smash was one of those series that I played on N64, did not like it, avoided every iteration since, and somehow got swept up in the hype train so much that I bought it on 3DS and Wii U, and I played quite a few hours. Like, I enjoyed it for a while.
Yeah.
To me, it's like one of those things that's for the competitive people.
Well, for me, it's the family social gatherings.
Yeah.
That I have to buy it for that. Yeah.
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 I'm surprised they didn't go with the alliterative name like Super Smash Bros. Switch, like Z was predicting.
I still think that would have been great. But another thing is, I don't know about the pre-order on mine as well. Since you brought it up, that's a game that just is a pain in the ass physical, like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And like I just plunked down $40 when Splatoon was on sale to convert over to digital.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Because now your Switch taxes. Do you want to pay 20% more to not have to pick up and put the cartridge in every time?
Yeah, no, and more and more I'm reading in comment sections and message boards of people bitching and moaning about having to change cartridges in 2018.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden it's become a pain in the ass when we've been doing it our whole lives.
Yeah.
I do want to say I do think Sakurai was brilliant because I think he's sick and tired of dealing with Smash.
Yeah.
So they were like, what are we gonna call this one? He's like, let's call it Ultimate, knowing like what the hell are you gonna call the next one? Ultimate 2?
Yeah, that's
you've already reached the ultimate.
Yeah, let's end the series.
There's nothing above Ultimate, is there?
You could call it Smash Bros. Ultimate, the final challenger.
They'll call it Smash Reborn or something.
Well, the other thing is, it'll be like, but it'll be after a long. It'll have to be after a long hiatus. Yeah. But right, you could also just leave this one out there and just keep adding to it.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to buy, if you want, the next expansion, the next DLC, whatever, and just keep expanding it and keep selling it.
I thought they should do that with Pokemon. I've said that before, that they could just be like, let's just add stuff to your existing game.
So I guess that brings up the type of the next topic on the list is this the final Smash? And I think Sakurai said pretty much after every one, I can't picture making another one.
Yeah, he says that after every one. And then Nintendo says, we'll pay you.
The fighting game genre has become very niche. Aside from Smash, who's a fighting game person? Do you know fighting? I see these guys with their arcade sticks at when I go to that swap meet that I go to. There's dudes in booths that just sit and play the fighting games all day.
I had a friend who owned an arcade stick that didn't even have a stick on it. It was all buttons. You've got 8 directional buttons, and then 8 whatever. And I'm just like, man, you must be the wizard. It's like you're playing a keyboard.
That's nuts.
Or an accordion.
No, but I mean, it's right. I don't. Fighting games are not a general population thing. Smash is kind of the exception. People
because of its cartooniness.
Yeah,
it's Nintendo characters.
It's Nintendo characters, and it's accessible. And there's characters like Kirby that are just easy to play.
There's no one ripping out spines in this one.
Everybody already knows these characters. They know Mario. They know Link. They know even Pac-Man and stuff. So.
But I can see Nintendo thinking this genre isn't worth necessarily. I mean, they sell a lot of Smash. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean.
Well, now that they're trying to hype their Versus brand,
this genre is kind of slowing down. Well, they can, but that's the thing is they can hype Smash. They can hype the same Smash for 5 years. The evergreenness of Nintendo titles.
Well, they've decided to start actually, supporting the competitive scene. So now they've got their game to support the competitive scene with, I guess. But yeah, I don't know if Sakurai is really going to be done with it. I almost feel like could you imagine the burden he must have? Because he probably feels like the world needs me to give them Smash. Like, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
I'm the Smash guy. And now I've built this thing, and he's probably got some sort of self-obligation that he feels that he has to keep doing it every time they ask him.
Well, I read an interesting quote.
Yeah, he's got a crazy work ethic.
Sakurai, he said that he doesn't really consider Smash Bros. A fighting game, but I forget what he said it was. I think he said I don't think he said puzzle game, but he was just referring to how you gotta
a strategy game.
Yeah,
he said something about throwing and knocking people off. It's a sports game.
Yeah, that was what he was talking about. Is throwing
Yeah.
and knocking people off, and the kind of the juggling that you do. It's a juggle game. There you go.
A juggling game. Cute.
I can't wait for a juggling game on Switch where you gotta toss the Joy-Con between your hands.
Oh my god.
Right.
That would totally be cool. I can do basic juggling.
They'd sell a lot of Joy-Con.
That's true. And they'd make a lot of money in their beer department. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Joy-Con, perhaps we should move on from Smash to another topic that's been popular, and that is Pokéball Plus. This is pretty fresh news, not necessarily out of E3, but they're saying that the Pokéball Plus will have the same function as a standard controller, and Masuda says himself that it is superior to a Joy-Con, especially with HD Rumble.
So it's
Wow.
HD Rumble or
Who said that?
UHD?
Masuda?
Yeah.
Just ask Mrs. Masuda.
Well, it also has a little speaker in it, doesn't it? It makes Pokemon sounds.
Well, the HD Rumble, like Jason's played through Golf Story, that's got moments where the Rumble simulates audio.
That's true.
Yeah, off a golf ball.
So well, no, it's isn't it like birds or something? Or what is it?
Really?
What is it in Golf Story that it simulates, Jason? Do you remember?
I thought it was just it hitting the ground and moving.
I had thought there was something that was an actual background animation thing that it simulated, or a bird chirping, or I don't know, a frog ribbiting, something like that. I thought it was some sort of animal, but
I don't remember.
Either way, it can do a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
So this is better than a Joy-Con.
Now you really have to have it.
Yeah, I don't. How much is it again?
You don't buy that?
Is it 50?
I think it's 50.
Yeah,
Good
we were
God.
watching before.
And if you replace the strap on it with one of the Joy-Con straps, you'd even be able to click it in so it can hang off the side of your Switch.
Oh,
That's true.
Like a big earring.
that's a different handheld bud. Yeah.
I think that doesn't quite work the way Mo described.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
still
No.
funny.
I was just thinking the only thing that makes it inferior is it can't clip onto the Switch, and I was like, oh wait, but maybe it could. Yeah. I don't know if it works that way.
Does it have
Anyone-
buttons? Does it have a full set of buttons? Could you use this thing as a joystick? Can
I
you
think
use
so.
this thing to play a game?
You're gonna see tons of stupid YouTube videos showing you that you can.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, hacking it or whatever, but
I'm just
No,
thinking
just feel playing games they shouldn't. Sorry, just
the Joy-Con are made to be used, well, unless you're using a single Joy-Con, but it's like a two-hand thing, so
Yeah.
they can
imagine
gather.
playing arms with just a couple of balls in your hand.
That's what I'm wondering. Will you have to have two Pokeballs if you're playing a game like that, or I don't know.
And
I
can
would
you
play
sync them
arms
as
with
left
balls.
Joy-Con and right Joy-Con, or they just show up as player 1 and player 2?
yeah, they probably
Because-
show up like
yeah.
a Pro controller as just its own
Yeah.
controller. Yeah.
Yeah.
So well.
Is anyone sold on this that they feel they need to have it?
No.
Not at $50.
Is anybody who
Not it.
Jason, you're buying the Let's Go Poke Your Mom.
I'm still on the fence about it.
Oh, you're
It's-
still on the fence? About the game itself?
Yeah, about the game itself. I
I mean-
probably will, but I don't know for sure.
How about you, Max?
Probably not.
Are we thumbs down across the board here? Most likely. Well, Jason's
I'd say if
50-50.
Jason bought a Happy Home Designer, he's buying this.
Max bought that too.
I bought that too. I liked it.
Yeah,
like
but
it.
Bought it too.
Who
Well,
here
it
paid
came
full
with my
price
3D.
for Amiibo Festival?
I did.
I think I probably did.
I probably did.
I wanted those amiibo.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we all did,
Yeah.
except for Mo.
yeah. I didn't even pay $5 for it when it was on closeout at Toys R Us.
Really?
Yeah. And now it's probably going to be a collector's item. I know.
Anyway.
Like, behold, the worst game for the worst system Nintendo ever produced.
Yeah.
Or the worst first-party game. Oh,
Oh,
it's worse than Star Fox Zero, right?
I don't know.
It's worse than Star Fox Zero.
You need the
Yeah,
two.
absolutely.
You need those two with Mighty Number 9, and that would be your ultimate collector's bundle right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the thing is about Star Fox Zero is it was a polished game. It was a legit game.
Just the
It
controls
just-
were terrible.
They just killed it with the
Amiibo
controls.
Festival was probably polished. It just had a horrible Amiibo.
There were aspects about it that were good.
Yeah, people liked the mini games that ended up going into the 3DS version. By the way, I don't know that we were
a bit
gonna-
hours in that. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't know we were going to talk about Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I didn't. I forgot about that. That Europe's getting a Animal Crossing 2DS
Oh, that's
to
right.
celebrate New Leaf,
Two-
their brand
2DS
new
XL?
Animal Crossing game. Yeah. I thought it was really bizarre that they were picking now, but I guess it's really bizarre that they picked last year to do a 2DS version for Zelda. Yeah, so
Yeah, and
maybe we'll
really,
start seeing that.
it's an odd looking system. Has anyone seen
Yeah.
pictures of it? It's just like, okay.
An interesting green color. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish they would make
They
a
built-
small 2DS clamshell. I'd buy one.
That was Shin Megami Tensei branded.
Yeah, there you go. Well, no.
You want it, you know it.
I'm waiting for a pink badge arcade version.
Automatically opens the badge arcade every time.
That comes with badge arcade preloaded. Includes a free game. Literally a free game. All right.
All right. Speaking of free games, the next topic I think will be a little more exciting for us.
Nailed it.
Yeah, Fortnite Switch. So I can say that all of us here, but even Eric. I'm sorry, Eric. I know you don't like this game.
I got to go back and listen to last week's episode because I think we had played it last week by the time we recorded.
I think you had, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you had, because I remember...
What a difference a
Jason
week
gave pro
makes.
tip.
I think we had just downloaded it and wasn't sure about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jason gave a pro tip about how you can toggle with the...
Welcome to the Nintendo Open Air Podcast, your source for all things Fortnite.
That's right. How many people, when they heard Fortnite was coming to Switch, thought they would actually play it? I did not.
I didn't think...
No.
I did not either.
No, I didn't. That's for those kids.
And how...
Right.
How good is it compared... I guess it's better than the mobile version, right?
I don't know. I would
You don't
say
know?
it's safe to say that probably me and Mo at least have 30 hours into it.
Probably
Wow.
at least. Yeah.
Unforeseenly addictive.
One of my friends had said it's not out on Android yet.
Really?
It's just on iOS. Yeah, but
Interesting.
Ridiculous.
it's just like with Rocket League. It scratches that itch of a game that you don't really have to be committed to. Like you can pop in for 5 or 10 minutes if you want.
Isn't it? Aren't the
Or 5
sessions a little longer than Rocket League, or no?
It depends on. Well, it depends.
It's gonna be stuck or not.
Because Max had a game last night where she was in for about 30 seconds.
Not even that.
Yeah, that's
I
I think part of the draw is that is you can and if you're playing with friends, you got to wait for your friends, but then you're watching your friends, so that's
You don't
not
have
so bad.
to, but
You don't
do.
have to.
But yeah,
I mean, but if you're playing by yourself, part of the draw is if you die in 30 seconds, bam, you get right back in another match. Whereas Rocket League,
Yeah.
if you're in a
doing it.
losing Rocket League match, you're stuck in that losing Rocket League match until that match is over.
Unless you want to take a penalty for leaving early. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true. You can
Plus,
skip out.
it's to me, it's a lot. Like I went back and played a few rounds of Rocket League last night because I'd taken a few days off, and like Rocket League is almost stressful to me compared to Fortnite.
I agree. It's
because
more
I feel like I have to perform. You have to perform at like a higher level. Where at Fortnite, it's just you do your best, but you're probably going to get annihilated. At least now that we're noobs.
Even when we're playing with other teammates, with random people, and there might be even now up to 20 on a team or 50 on a team before, I never felt stressed like, oh, I'm dead. I've let someone else on my team down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You miss but then again, you don't have people saying what a save whenever you don't get the kill in Fortnite.
That's
well,
right.
it's also the nature of the game in Fortnite is you expect to lose. Most people are going to lose. Whereas in Rocket League, it's a direct, team versus team, one winner, one loser. It's a different kind of thing, and there's a lot more pressure on it. Whereas, when you die in Fortnite, whatever, you died.
Yeah.
How well did you do before you died is what matters.
That said, I had a friend who I've never played online games with that I just worked with years ago, and we were friends on Switch. We've never played anything on Switch, and today he joins my match and is like, let's play some games. He had voice chat. We popped up on that. He had his nephew. They've both been playing it for months and months and months. They both have premium packs and all this stuff, and they're like, oh, we're awesome. I said, okay, you guys pick the drop zone. They picked the drop zone. They were both dead within a minute, and I went for probably 10 minutes. I was like, they were mocking me the whole time because I'm a noob and I haven't paid money, so I just had the premium or the unpremium noob skin, and they've got fancy outfits. And I'm like, yeah, but those fancy outfits didn't save you, did it? So there's almost some sort of equalizer where you can be skilled in it, but I don't know if anybody's really skilled enough that if they get caught in a crossfire between 2 or 3 different factions shooting, that they're going to be able to dodge all those bullets.
Who's skilled, just put on cross-platform play, and then you'll see.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've
heard that.
There is a certain equalizing effect. Everybody, even if they've paid money or not, are on the same skill levels. Supposed to be like Rocket League, but I don't think personal skill is important.
Even in Rocket League, if you play against like PC players, you're gonna get mostly killed, right? Or
only because it's been available on PC for years longer.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, that's the same thing with.
But not really. I play cross-plat, so I'm playing with Xbox and PC people, and I don't have trouble.
Fortnite. Here's the thing about Fortnite. I had forgotten. I didn't realize I could have been playing Fortnite a year ago. It came out in July of last year.
Wow.
And cost the same amount.
I don't know when it made it to consoles though, and you know what I mean. It's gotten bigger with each new platform that it's come to. But it's one of those zeitgeist things like Pokemon Go, where just everybody's playing it. And because of that, there's some benefits where there's always noobs. There's always people that are just trying it out for the first time.
Every game is somebody's first game, probably.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of casuals.
Right?
Not really, no. I mean, no, not really. There's a premise.
not at all.
I wouldn't call it a storyline. The premise is you're dropped on an island, and there's some sort of storm that is the excuse to make, they call it a storm. That's what makes.
And you have to stay in the eye of the storm, which is always shrinking.
That's the shrinking zone.
Until it gets to a point where the storm just stops shrinking.
Together.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is lore to it. There's like a whole story of good guys and bad guys and stuff going on in the game. There is right now in the game. There's a bunch of craters all over the place.
But again, the game, it's a setting, it's a premise. It's not so much a story. It's just stuff happens in the game, and it's an in-game reason. Yeah. It has a cause and effect, and so the game world has a history, but it's not. couldn't call it a story so much as an evolving setting. It's just
right. They probably have to keep
Momo,
doing
how did
things to
you
make it
hear-
fresh.
yeah.
How'd you hear about that lore?
It's in game.
It's in
Yeah,
game?
and one of my friends was talking about it as well, and I think Max had looked up possibly about the crater thing with the asteroids, or
Yeah.
she
Like,
saw like
For example, there
So the
was
crater
a
thing.
update.
Oh, go ahead.
There was an update last night or this morning, and now the TVs that you can randomly come across have this logo on it. And like last week, there was a rocket launch site, and the computers are suddenly on there. Stuff like that happens. Little changes,
Yeah.
something's going to happen eventually. But that's
Yeah.
about as far as
They
setup
give
goes.
little hints. Yeah, they give little hints like that, and people notice and talk about it in the message boards and stuff. It's neat. They're doing a very good job of keeping people interested and excited. It's just like, and I hate to say it. I mean, this isn't battle royale games existed before. There was PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and whatever, but it's just like they kind of. I used to like to use the iPhone as an example for this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because there were smartphones out before the iPhone. There were several companies that had produced them based on Windows, based on whatever, and Apple just frigging nailed it. They you know what I mean? They just came out with something that just nailed it in a way that nobody had even come close to, and it just seems like Epic did that with this. And it's in large part due to things like marketing things. Like I can tell they did a lot of analysis of gameplay design ideas and what would be the most accessible and what would be the most, you know what I mean, the best way to get the most people into this possible, making it free to play and having these weird battle pass tiers that are time limited and yada yada. Like it's a little bit cynical in my view, and it's a little bit, I don't want to say greedy, but you know what I mean. The whole structure of the game to me seems like a lot of free to play games. Like the whole structure of the game is built around getting you to buy stuff, kind of, which is ever so slightly irksome, but we've just kind of come to accept it in the modern age. That just a lot of games are like that.
Around. Yeah, I mean they must find that they make more than charging a set price. Well,
they must, because talking about the Rocket League Battle Pass, that's very, very similar. Or am I jumping ahead on topics?
I just wanted to add in there. Was talking about the add-on content in Fortnite. Has anyone felt a need to upgrade or to, buy a cosmetic outfit? Because it is all cosmetic.
I feel no desire to buy any of it, but as I was stating right before the podcast, with the amount of time we've all put into it, I almost feel like tossing them $10 is just kind of a fair, like a fair donation. So I might do it, when the next season rolls around, just for the hell of it, just because. Damn, you guys made a pretty good game. All right, I've floated $10 or $20 to phone games that, like the Clash Royale or whatever, that I've wasted just endless hours on. It's like, all right, I'll and I don't even feel like, it's like, sure, okay, I'll get some gems in the game, but it's just like, screw it, I'll give them some money. It's the old shareware mindset in me. Like I paid money to Winamp right before AOL bought them 25 years ago or whatever.
And they're showing, and they do. I mean, I'm wondering if this is going to be a new model within the free to play, is this battle pass type system where
really
there's a free
like
tier and a premium tier, and you see what you've unlocked and what you can unlock. So it's like as we're unlocking all this free stuff, which is like 4 items,
it shows us what we would
it shows
be
us all the stuff,
if we
and what we will unlock if we pay the battle pass.
You
automatically get all the stuff that so it's like there's 2 costumes I could have right now, and some graffiti stuff and different emotes, and 100 V-Bucks, which is equal to a virtual dollar.
What can you spend V-Bucks on?
More outfits and emotions
and graffiti,
spray paint and graffiti tags and different gliders and
Just cosmetic.
It's all cosmetic, just like with Rocket League. It's all cosmetic.
But
although unlike Rocket League, this is not a crate that you open up. Every crate's a winner in this one. There's nothing random about what you get. You know up front, you see what you can get. If you put the money in, that's the item you get.
So Fortnite, what does Fortnite need to keep us interested long term? Because I have to admit, I enjoy Rocket League, and I will go back to Rocket League here and there. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just feel it's a little kind of simple. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of strategy to be had in that simplicity, like a chess game or something, But you know what I mean? Fortnite to me feels like that's a world as opposed to just being in a little box with goals at the end most of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of burnt out on Rocket League right now, so this is a nice thing to bide my time. Plus, I've already pretty much plateaued for this season in Rocket League as far as
everything
competitively where I think I'm going to get to. So it's like I don't really.
I still need to get some decryptors. You guys got to join me for that, But yeah, no, I mean, right. But what does Fortnite need to not burn us out? Because Rocket League to me doesn't do enough to keep it fresh.
It's a great pick up and play game. I think. I don't know.
I think they've got to keep changing the world.
I think we need new maps. I think
eventually you'll get tired once you feel like it's a big world and you feel like you I already kind of know. Oh, if I go here, I'm going to see the rocket. If I go here, there's a wooden crab. If I go here, there's a wooden fox. Or here's that little bear statue. It's like you start. I think if you've been playing it for a month or however long these little battle pass things last, you've seen everything there is and you know where everything is, which is fun for a while. But I think changing it, like Jason said, is probably what keeps it fresh.
Have to redo your strategy, basically.
Yeah,
I would think they could take a page from Splatoon and have, if they could make a couple of 2 or 3 different islands that rotate,
like Splatoon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, kind of do it that way, like Splatoon does. So there's, it's going to be this island for the weekend, or these two, or randomly, or however they do it. But it seemed like that's the next logical step for them. And even then, it shouldn't take a lot of however much effort it took them to build the first world, they could really kind of start with that and. You know what I mean? They could save themselves. They could shortcut a lot of stuff, and it wouldn't take them as much time to build a second and third. And,
But one thing that is nice too is they do have pretty regularly daily challenges. I still haven't figured out exactly what time these challenges or how these challenges appear because
when they roll over,
yeah. Well, the rewards are always stars, which add to your tier because you'll need like 10 stars or something to unlock the next tier or whatever it is. So you'll get like 2 stars. Like I had one that was I had to eliminate 2 people with a pistol, and if I did that, then I've cleared that challenge for the day. And sometimes you guys, it seems like, are getting multiple challenges per day. I seem to get one.
Well, what happened in my case was I didn't realize for the first few days what was going on, so they kind of stack up, and so once you kind of caught up to them, then you only get 1 per day.
I see.
But they kind of stack up until then. And the other, like I've noticed, that's the same way other phone games I've played work. They give you 1 new one per day. If you don't complete that new one, you can have a stack of however many, 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. But as long as you complete whatever your max is, as long as you keep it clear enough, you'll get a new one, a subsequent new one every day, even if there's one that you've had for a week, that you haven't finished or whatever.
But that is nice. That's something to give you a little goal.
Yeah.
Even if you're a free player, like, that's something I gotta try to do.
It also mixes up the gameplay a little bit and gives noobs a little more opportunity to take out, like if there's a high level player that's trying to get kills with like a crappy pistol. That gives a noob an opportunity to take them out. Like the person that I took out earlier was somebody in some fancy costume and whatever. So I don't know if they just paid money and suck, or if they were trying to kill me with a pistol, and that's why I was able to take them out.
I mean, it's a certain part of skill. It's a certain part of luck. Just like with Rocket League or Splatoon or any of those other games.
And every time is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all been splatted by somebody in Splatoon that was probably below our skill level. It's like,
oh yeah,
sunshines on dogs.
and I would say there's a lot of replay value in Fortnite because it's a big enough world, and as Max said, like more so than Splatoon. Every match is a little different in Splatoon because you're dealing with human opponents, and it's got that organic quality to it, and randomness. But also the fact in Fortnite that every single match you drop to, not always a completely different location. We go back to the same place here and there, but they're some of the same places. But right, it's where the circles end up. What randos you end up dropping next to.
And there's a lot of named locations and a lot of unnamed locations.
Yeah, but I just mean, right, each match has a ton of variability built into it, just like where the bus is going, which path the bus is taking and everything.
Yeah.
So it really makes every match very unique.
What bus?
Did you just
the
say
air
what
bus that drops you, man? What bus?
Oh, okay.
The flying bus.
And it's so funny if
only
there's
bus
if there's people who are not Nintendo people listening to our podcast, if anyone listening to our podcast, they're going to be like laughing their asses off.
These are our impressions based on somebody who's never played Fortnite before. Yeah,
exactly. These Switch people that are just now discovering Fortnite. And again, I'm kicking myself. Like I had the Epic Games installer, because I had downloaded something from them years ago, and I could have been playing this for a year. But then again, without friends,
aren't you glad? Yeah, you'd have been sick of it.
Well, that too. Well, no. Here's the thing: is what I would have done is I probably would have gone in, played a few rounds, and gone, "Oh, that's kind of cool," and moved on. Because if you don't have people to play with, I mean, don't get me wrong, the solo is cool, but you need to at least play sometimes with your friends, or it just would be I don't know.
There's a mode where you don't have a team where you can just play 99 people that are you against the other 99 people.
Free for all.
Yeah, every man for himself, and that's kind of the main original premise of the game. But you have to have really right. If anybody's on, it's more fun to hop in and do a team thing. Than
that's one thing we do that we're good about, other than podcasting, is we do play a lot of games together. So we and drag everybody else into the games that we're playing.
And Fortnite's an easy one because you don't even have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
That's anyone just download and jump in with us. And that's brilliant. And I'm sure they're still making money hand over fist from people buying stuff because we see them in game.
Especially during the great Nintendo drought of 18.
Well, that's the thing is I argue that they didn't announce much at E3 and we went, oh, Fortnite, meh.
Yeah.
Smash, meh. Well, Fortnite's a hell of a game.
Yeah.
And between Fortnite, Rocket League, and Splatoon, we got just enough.
Trifecta.
Yeah, we got just enough to keep us busy.
Nobody's tried
and although we probably shouldn't turn this into
Shelter.
the Fortnite podcast, we should probably mention that they did patch in voice chat.
Days after,
and which we mentioned was going to be happening. We've all tested it.
Works great.
It works. Yeah.
Shout out to Diego, by the way.
Yeah.
A rando
Diego. The
the
only thing that's kind of awkward about it that I don't like about Fortnite is anybody that you friend can join you uninvited. They can just pop into your
match and
to
say
your
hi
or at least into your lobby. They can, and they can and you've got rando voice chat back, so it's just like, whether it's somebody screaming or somebody talking to their mother about what they're going to have for lunch, or come on, mom, just let me finish this one game.
Yeah, see, if Nintendo had wanted to break E3, like if they wanted to win E3, they should have announced, hey, we have a game that will do native voice chat on the Switch with just a regular old pair of headphones with a mic attached to it.
And
that would have
blown 12-year-old girls.
Minds. Oh, yeah, that would have blown people's minds, I think, at E3 if they had announced it the right way. But instead, it was just kind of a tag along with, oh yeah, Fortnite's coming out.
Actually, I don't know any girls that play Fortnite though, except Max.
Oh, there's plenty of girls on there.
I'm sure there are.
Oh, the
There's
wife's
plenty.
even interested.
If you play, then you can, Eric. If you just play, you'll see all kinds of girls. They'll talk. You can give them your email address.
By
The
the way,
other day, Jason and
It's
I
better than
played
Tinder.
with two
very
randoms, and one of them was a girl. So.
Okay.
an actual girl.
Yeah, yeah. They were doing the voice chat, and we weren't,
Yeah,
and we could hear them
gotcha.
talking.
Yeah, I always mute my headset. Like and that's the funny thing is like, so antisocial that like if Jason and I are in a match, and we're using for some reason we usually use another means for voice chat, but if for some reason we're plugged into the Switch, and then somebody else starts talking, it's like we just go radio silent.
Yeah.
It's best not to get involved. But it does work.
Yeah.
So they could do Splatoon 2 with voice chat if they really wanted to, or Mario Kart or any of these other things. If they really wanted to, it works good enough. It's an option.
The art style
The only
reminds
problem
me
is
of Overwatch.
Yeah, it is kind of
little bit.
cartoony, which I think PUBG is more realistic.
That's what makes it
Realistic,
accessible.
Compared. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's not really blood or anything like that either.
No.
That's right. T for
So
teen.
it's yeah,
Or is it E for everyone?
it's probably T for teen. There's animated violence.
And it's also the thing that's funny about it is shooters have been around now as a genre long enough that one of them has become like a zeitgeist game that everybody's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? It's everybody, and I would argue Splatoon was a precursor to that mindset that hey, everybody can play a shooter, not just shooter people, not just bro gamers. Like I remember when it came out on iOS, and there was all the grumblings, the grumblings from the that kind of fan base about the women, all the women now playing Fortnite because it came out on iOS, and complaining about it. But that's where shooters are now.
It's just as much about hiding as it is about combat, though.
That too. But
it's like Max and I got second place today.
Yeah.
We've been playing the game for a week.
We were hiding a lot.
Squad match, and we were just hiding and moving up as we had to.
And that was like 10 minutes after, like 20 minutes after Jason and I had died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I was telling the wife too, is it's like, if you want, and she said that, oh, that sounds like fun. It's like you just go park yourself in a house for 5-10 minutes, you listen to the gunshots outside and hope they don't get too close. And then every so often you got to sneak your way to the next hideout location. She's like, oh, that sounds cool. I said, yeah, we play the game most of the time without ever really firing a shot. I mean, until the end, basically.
And as soon as you die, it then becomes a Twitch stream that you're watching your friends streaming.
Yeah.
Until it's time to go back to the lobby.
It's brilliant. Like when you think of all the things that like it's like they sat in a room and said, okay, what can you think about gaming that's popular? How do we cram them all into something to make the most popular thing ever? Well, Battle Royale games are the new big thing, and free to play is popular, and right?
Yeah.
But they just nailed it. They nailed it like Apple nailed the iPhone. They just put it all together in such a way that is just very well done, very polished, and a hell of a lot of fun.
All right.
We've said it all.
Before we completely go Fortnite all night, we should talk about something we mentioned earlier on, and that is about the Play Pass in Fortnite is also going to be showing up in Rocket League as the Rocket Pass. And it's going to be the same setup, a free version and a premium version, which is going to cost around $10. And it seems like it's going to change several times a year, it says. I would imagine probably with the seasons.
Yeah. And Fortnite, I still don't know if it's seasonal or if it's 30 days or I know it says there's 20 some days left in Fortnite right now, but I don't know if that's a monthly thing or I don't know how long their little seasons go. But
yeah, were we in the middle of a season when Switch? I think we were.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure we were.
Switch rolled out, but I might be
assuming
wrong.
it's seasonal, they at least are getting $40 a year out of you if you're paying for it. So
see, I don't know, man. I don't like they turned free to play with like loot boxes somehow seem less nefarious to me because you just can kind of buy them when you want. But here it feels like you're being enticed to buy a subscription and being taunted if you're not, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels somehow a little more nefarious to me. And again, I'm in no way motivated to other than, I'll drop a few bucks on Fortnite because it feels like it's worth it. But like Rocket League, I already put my $20 down. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, and that's the big difference is that it's Rocket League is now adopting a free to play model for a game that's not free to play.
Yeah.
Even though many people have been making a case for a while now that it should be, which I don't know how I feel about, because at this point, people who have already paid would be pretty pissed. You can't take a game that people once paid for and then all of a sudden be like, guess what? Now it's free.
Yeah.
No
suckers,
matter what you give people that paid the $20,
they could award you. What if they awarded you 20 keys?
$20.
That would people would still feel.
Yeah.
It would have to be something with a total. They'd have to give you something with a retail dollar value of more than the cost of the game, really, to make up for it. Because otherwise, if it's the same if it's a straight across trade, people are still going to feel cheated.
Yeah.
Really?
But they could give you $30 worth of keys to unlock crates, and it doesn't cost them a dime. It's just going into digital stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think they would end up doing is give people some added bonus in addition to just 20 keys. But
we'll see. I'm still in my first year, obviously, as we all are, of Rocket League. I don't know what the burnout factor is going to be on this. I still enjoy it, but it's like after over 1,000 hours. Yeah. Probably more than that. So it's like
out on Pokemon Shuffle.
Kind of. That's one of those things though that you hop in for 5 or 10 minutes a day, and you're done with. Whereas Rocket League, I would sometimes play that.
But
5 or 6 or 8.
Shuffle to the point now where like even if you grind 24 hours a day, if you don't spend money, you're not gonna meet the goal.
If you don't spend the in-game currency, you're not going to be able to progress in it. So you just basically have to spend like 2 weeks saving up the in-game currency so you can make an attempt, like one attempt.
Here's the thing: will it demotivate you to progress if you don't have the pass? Because it seems like it would demotivate me. I'm playing a game where there's an equal playing field for everybody. Like, sure, you can buy keys to get stuff and whatever. But as far as ranking and progression goes, that's its own thing. Now all of a sudden, you're going to progress faster with more XP, yada yada. If you pay money, like to me,
but you don't really progress because it's different from the competitive ranking system.
Yeah, okay, no, fair enough.
It's like you're still not going to be able to get to gold rank unless you're skilled enough to secure the gold rank.
What does XP count for now in Rocket League?
It's basically right now the only thing XP does is your title. Your title changes from pro to semi-pro to pro to legend, rocketeer. It's just a title in the game, which currently caps out at level 75, which is rocketeer, and then can't go up any higher. They're going to remove that cap and I think make it unlimited. And probably add some more titles, and they're gonna have stuff start unlocking, because right now it's like you might just randomly after a match be like, hey, I got a new hat, a new topper in the game, or a new antenna in the game, and they're gonna actually have those random drops set so that they happen when your skill goes up, when your level goes up. And they did say for everyone who's already playing in the game, it's gonna just drop a lump sum for however much XP you would have at this point, which I'm looking forward to. But that's not part of the Battle Pass thing, or whatever, the Rocket Pass. They didn't even try to disguise it.
It just feels like to me it'll demotivate me to play the game if I feel like my effort.
There's stuff you're not getting.
Well, not even that. It feels like if I feel like my effort is minimized somehow. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to
explain. In Fortnite right now.
Well, for example, when I used to play World of Warcraft, there were there were certain bonuses, XP bonuses you would get, so you level a lot faster if you did certain things, to the point that just doing regular old stuff wasn't really worth it. You know what I mean? If you weren't getting some kind of bonus XP, it wasn't worth doing anything for just a regular old XP.
Yeah.
And it kind of, at least I will feel somewhat the same way if I'm at some lower tier. Like Fortnite's still new and whatever, we're just playing it because it's a social thing. But like for Rocket League, unless we're all playing on a team for fun, if I'm really playing the game to try to progress through it and get stuff, I'm just gonna feel like, what's the point if I'm not paying money?
Right. But I think even in Fortnite, like, I don't know if you guys can't see my level in Fortnite. I don't think other players can see my level. So same within Rocket League, there's an option to choose your whether you want to show your title or not, of if you're rookie or semi-pro or whatever. So it doesn't really affect what anyone else sees. It's just like something that's in there. But I don't know. It's weird because Rocket League has somehow got me to care about stupid cosmetics crap for my car. And Fortnite has not gotten me to care about the cosmetic things.
I would argue the gameplay is too compelling to pay enough attention to the cosmetic aspects.
But I also feel like Rocket League is a much more skilled game than Fortnite, at least overall. Like I feel like if you're against a very skilled player in Rocket League and you're not very skilled, you're gonna get dominated on. And in Fortnite, at least there's 90 other people who might be able to intervene, or there's never a time in Rocket League where it's like, all right, well, we're gonna have 10 people against this one person. So,
but you didn't have 3 versus 1.
Yeah, or was it 4? Might have been 4. Or was it 5? No.
I don't remember.
It was 3. Before anyone gets a bigger head than they already have.
Was it 12? Oh.
It was everyone.
Felt like 12 against 1. Oh.
That's how good we
Rocket
played.
League Battle Royale.
Yeah, that's the next game. All right. But yeah, Rocket, I don't know. What do you think, Jason? You got any feelings on the Rocket Pass after having plunked down your 20 to 15?
I tell you, I'm really starting to feel different about it. I'm getting kind of burnt out with it, with the grinding for this event, and I'm just not. I can't think of putting more money into this game. Suddenly, the price of the game is no longer $15. The first time it'd be $25, then it'd be $35, $45.
Yeah. At a certain point, Rocket League stops being about having fun and does become about grinding.
Yeah.
Whether you're grinding for rank, you're grinding for whatever the little seasonal event is. It's like, it's still fun, but it's almost like a Pokemon shuffle or something like that, where you're just like, well, I got to get in and do a couple hours in Rocket League so I can get this thing. That doesn't really matter.
And
in
maybe
the grand scheme.
Maybe after Fortnite wears off and it becomes we've played it for a while.
Yeah.
I'll go back to Rocket League, but I don't feel as compelled to go back to Rocket League as I do to play Splatoon or something. But
yeah. I don't know. The Rocket League and Fortnite affect me on 2 completely different emotional levels. I feel 2 completely different ways. It's like kids. I love them both. I just love them different.
You love being stressed out?
Kind of.
Okay.
I like scoring a goal in somebody's face.
I feel,
and I like shooting somebody in the kneecap with a shotgun and then bludgeoning them with a pickaxe.
That's fun too. No, but I feel far more. I agree. Like when it comes to games that I like, you know what I mean. When I'm feeling excruciatingly lazy, Rocket League feels like too much effort to me.
It is.
And like ranked Splatoon or Grizzco feels like too much effort to me. But
there's not a lot of hiding behind a tree in Rocket League.
Yeah, that's the thing. Somehow Fortnite is relaxing because it really it's
very low
punctuated
stress
by moments. Yeah, it's punctuated by moments of tension, but for the most part, it's pretty just kind of running around, relaxing, and just playing around in the world.
It's like a movie.
Showdown,
It's got peaks and valleys, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas Rocket League, it's like you've got 5 minutes to perform at your highest level. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
Good job, Rocket League. Also, Jurassic Park, T-Rex Skull Explosion.
Oh yeah.
Came out.
Yeah.
So enjoy that.
And here's a question. I don't know if this is a subject up ahead or not, but between Rocket League and Fortnite, has anybody touched that Octo expansion?
I have. I played a very little bit of it.
Yeah, I haven't
the
touched it.
expansion. I thought you were gonna say the demo. We all played the demo, but there's.
We're
Wait,
talking
you're
about
talking about Splatoon.
Splatoon
That's Splatoon. Yeah.
Are you talking about Octopath Traveler?
Octopath Traveler.
Has anyone downloaded Octopath Traveler demo and played it?
Not the
The
new
first
one.
one, not the new
Wait,
one.
there's a new one.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Updated.
Download it and find out.
The new one apparently allows you to play for 3 hours, and you can transfer your save data over to the game. I did see our friend QWERTY had posted on Twitter that he just played the Octopath. He's been on the pod before. That he played the demo, and 3 hours just flew by.
Which character did he
I don't
pick?
know. He didn't say in his tweet.
I hope it was the dancer.
He only had so many characters, but he said he thoroughly enjoyed it, and 3 hours flew by, and he can't wait for it. So, maybe it's better. I'm not an RPG guy, so like I said, it could be the greatest thing in the world. It could be Secret of Mana, and I'm not going to enjoy it.
I am an RPG guy, and I didn't like it. But
Secret of Mana,
maybe you need to give it
another
another try. Oh, Chrono Trigger. There you go. Whatever. Final Fantasy. Pick your number. I don't know.
Dragon Quest.
There we go.
Super Mario RPG. Yeah, whatever the kids are into. It could be the greatest RPG in the world, and I will not like it. But Jason might.
Right?
And Max might.
Well, the way I see it, I was reading some comments from the developer, and it's like, to complete everything in game, expect to play around 100 hours. And it's like, 100 hours is a lot of time to invest.
An hour of that first demo was
how many hours you got
in
Splatoon, Jason?
Much more, but
that's a different, totally different
standard
game.
RPG is like 60 hours to complete it, right? I think
it's different for every game. Well, I'm just thinking about that's coming out. The Tales game, the re-release of that is coming out. Tales of Vesperia, or how do you say that? Plus, we've got The World Ends With You coming out. I think they're all going to come out in the latter half of the year. I'm just thinking if I'm only going to have time to put into one, it's probably not going to be Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
Unless that demo wins you over.
Which was supposed to be
the first
a
one did
working
not.
title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was so great they kept it.
Problem is when you announce that there's a new game and we're calling it Project Octopath, and then you put out a demo and everyone's called it Project Octopath for a year, it's hard to be like, okay, now we're going to call it something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as for the other Octo in our life,
yep.
I have not purchased it yet. I think Z did. Max, you did.
I bought a card,
you did not yet?
but I have not downloaded it yet.
So that $20 could go anywhere.
Yeah. I'll still intend to buy it, but I haven't. No.
Finally get that Pokemon bat. It's been
finally get that Pokemon
laughing in your face.
But speaking of Splatoon, there is a little other topic we should mention, and that is the new Splatfest has been a source of, I guess, how should I say it, of argument between the group.
It's tearing us apart.
It's destroying our camaraderie here.
No pulp.
It's how do you prefer your orange juice, with or without pulp? That's
I don't know what's wrong with you people.
With or without people here.
I don't know what's wrong with you people.
Wait, I haven't heard anybody say that. I haven't heard the without side.
Eric, Eric hasn't been
There
in on
is
this.
no without side. There's no without side.
All right, Eric.
Yeah.
I'm giving you 2 glasses of orange juice. One of them has pulp. One of them does not have pulp. Which one are you going to drink?
The pulp.
Which one's better for you, Eric? Which one's a heartier?
Let the man answer. Let the man answer.
Out in the desert, and you were dying of both thirst and starvation. Which one would you choose? Which one would sustain you longer?
The pulp, but so Momo doesn't like pulp, and neither does who else is on the no pulp side.
No pulp.
Which side are you on, Eric?
The pulp side.
Awesome.
You pulp drinking.
And to add to that, I used to be no pulp until I tried the pulp, and then I was like, hey.
Now
you took the pulp challenge.
That's a born again. That is a converted pulp believer right there.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, Eric. You prefer orange or green?
What the?
What do you?
That's what we actually brought it down to.
Decided to make up his own Splatfest topic instead, since we couldn't agree on pulp or no pulp.
Are those the colors?
Yeah.
Splatfest?
Yeah.
So then, okay, so pulp is green.
What color do you like, Eric?
I already know. I know that I like orange, but that's the no pulp. That's okay. I'll do green. Okay.
It's the other way around.
Yeah,
orange
is pulp.
Oh, great.
Orange is pulp.
Oh, that's perfect.
So now we know which team Eric's gonna pick and not play as.
Not play. Yeah, exactly.
Eric, do you ever actually go back and collect your sea snails?
One time I did, yeah. I think for the Raphael one.
Do you still get them even if you lose, just for picking a side and not playing?
You do. You get like 3 or something. If you pick a side and don't play, you do get some. Because I did that once.
Okay.
But they expire before the next Splatfest is announced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gotta go.
Well, you only have 3 days or something, or 2 days. Yeah.
Well, you did during the Turtles one because they were putting them out every week.
Like a week or 2, I think, or a month.
Sometime because of baby duty, I picked the side, but then just I basically logged in when it again was like, oh crap, the Splatfest, and logged in when it was over, and I got like 3.
What does your baby's bowel movements have to do with it?
Well, he either likes
everything
with or without pulp.
That's good.
You know what? Baby bowel movements.
Baby duty.
Anybody who's got children knows without pulp is definitely the way to go.
Did you guys see that there was a news story about some? It's funny because Splatoon and hackers is almost a meme.
Yeah.
But those hackers were at it again, and
those poor unsuspecting players that had unreleased content inflicted upon them by these nefarious bastard hackers.
They were practically raped.
I know. They were forced to play on a new unreleased map against their will. They were held hostage because Splatoon won't let you quit in the middle of a match.
Not only were they taken from competitive league mode, but they were put into turf war, that just blows my mind. Why was it changed to turf war?
That's just how the hack worked. But they had the version from like Tower Defense or something.
I don't know. I'm not sure which version they had. It was
whatever league mode was going on at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, but the new stage was New Albacore Hotel, which we have not seen, I don't think.
Or heard of.
But we know all the data is already in the game. So
well, July is almost up.
Maybe that will up their release date for it. Yeah, maybe it was July's.
Now, again, we talked about this before, but since we're really on the Fortnite train, Splatoon,
how did we get back here? Oh.
Splatoon Battle Royale mode would be amazing.
That would be sweet.
Yeah,
because they already have.
Especially if there was 100 colors of paint. Oh.
Well, yeah, that would be difficult, but
nobody could move.
They'd have to do team. It'd still have to be 4-man squads, I guess, or at least 4-man squads. But right, they have a wide enough weapons spread that they could scatter these weapons all around the world.
That would be
right. You don't need building because it's all going to be
like
the world. Right, the world is all about getting. They'd have creative things that you could paint to get up to the top of this thing or whatever. Right, you can only get up here if you have a sniper rifle that can make a line all the way up this wall or whatever. They could do a lot of really neat stuff with a big open world, but Splatoon mechanics. That would be a hell of a lot of fun.
That would be fun. I'd play it.
Yeah.
Do you think?
All right, Nintendo, make it.
Do you think we'll see the rocket mode? I believe is what somebody had found in the game.
What is rocket mode?
Oh, it's another competitive mode where I don't know. You do something to try to launch a rocket, I guess.
And it kind of pushes back and forth between the two sides.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds like
tug of war. Hot potato.
I love Splatoon for what it is, and I will still play the crap out of the Splatfest and whatever, but Zelda, Fortnite, I need more big open world stuff.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right, GTA 5, Fallout, Skyrim.
You want an open world Splatoon?
No, I just mean right.
Battle Royale Splatoon.
I've played open world games before, but it's just like this is something that's been missing from Nintendo that other consoles and PC games have had, and open world games now have been around long enough that they're becoming refined. Things like
remember,
Fortnite.
This company only went HD like 5 years ago. So baby steps.
I understand, but all I'm saying is, I'm just saying Splatoon there's an itch that Splatoon doesn't scratch, and it's an itch that World of Warcraft was my gold standard in giant and huge, massive open worlds. World of Warcraft's world was gargantuan, and that itch was not. I had not had that itch scratched again, and I guess I'll get off that analogy because it's kind of gross. But I hadn't, you know what I mean? I hadn't found a game that kind of felt the same way until Zelda started to feel that way. Now Fortnite kind of feels that way.
Mario Odyssey wasn't open world, but you still enjoyed that, right?
Mario, not as much. I liked Mario Odyssey. I don't know if a truly open world Mario game would really work. And I like Mario Odyssey very much for what it is, the same way I like Splatoon very much for what it is. But I need more open world, and again, I want persistent open world. I want Pokemon MMO. That's what I want. Or I want Splatoon Battle Royale, or I want, you know what I mean? Nintendo needs to think bigger. Zelda's still the only example of Nintendo thinking bigger. Like bigger, like modern bigger, like other games bigger. Mario's wonderful for what it is.
Splatoon 1 was a shooter. That was a reach for Nintendo at the time.
It was a reach for Nintendo at the time, but again, it's a shooter in tiny little worlds, tiny little maps. I mean, comparatively, compared to other things.
Kind of its charm, though.
I agree. I love Splatoon for what it is, but Nintendo needs to do bigger. Zelda is the only real example of them making a massive game of the scale of other games that are made all the time by AAA studios.
What about Metroid Prime? That was large on GameCube.
Okay. Zelda's the first one since then, I would argue.
Well, the problem with MMOs for Nintendo is that they involve two things that Nintendo's bad at. One is online, and the other is like high graphic, like lots of
not people above the age of 12.
No. MMOs, no. World of Warcraft, part of what made World of Warcraft sell so well is it did work on very, very, very bare bones old PCs at the time when it initially launched. It was graphically actually pretty limited. Like the number of polygons was well below what other games were doing at the time, but World of Warcraft had very, very good art direction. It was just like Nintendo. They were very good at hiding their low polygon count with very, very good, actual art, actual drawings of trees would hide the fact that there was, like, you'd look at a tree, the tree would just be literally like a few dozen polygons or something, but the drawings of the leaves on all of the textures like made it really enhance the illusion to the point that even though it was a really crappy model, it looked really good unless you just happened to be looking at it from the exact wrong angle. You know what I mean? Fake shadows they would actually hand draw in and things like that to make things really look good, even though it was a crappy low polygon count. Nintendo's also masters at that, right? Making things or working around the low polygon count with beautiful, pretty colors and big cartoony round things that don't have a lot of shape to them, right?
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I don't know how I got on that subject. I just think that that's where Nintendo needs to go. Desperately, that's where Nintendo needs to go. And I think Fortnite is 2 million downloads in 24 hours of Fortnite. Did we mention that statistic earlier?
We have.
That one, like, to me, that says Nintendo seriously needs to figure out how to get on this train. I think Pokemon is their best avenue for it.
Something I found interesting, I always like to go into the eShop every week and look at the best sellers. Fortnite is nowhere in the top 30 best sellers, whereas
because it's free.
Whereas when Fallout Shelter came out, it was number one.
And Fallout Shelter is free.
So I'm guessing Nintendo has now, and Fallout Shelter, by the way, is not in the top 30 anymore. So I'm guessing at some point Nintendo decided they're only going to put best sellers as games that they actually have sold for money.
They figured that out, yeah, because that's a problem everywhere. Is you look like on Steam,
because the only thing the best selling games are all the free ones,
or they get this one's on free right now. Yeah.
What if they put bestseller as like total dollar amount instead of how many people bought it? That'd be interesting too.
I think what they need to do is just add another category for
most popular.
Yeah, best sellers and most popular, because they do also have featured games now. But
and yeah, the dollar value thing is bad.
Or do a best under 5
for a variety of reasons.
It's bad for variety.
Well, yeah, it's bad for small devs who are selling smaller games. Right? Because Nintendo's always going to win those, and the big AAA ones are always going to win those because they just, each sale is worth 6 sales of a smaller one, or whatever, or more. And it also would skew the numbers in such a way that everything on the top list would always be the same, because that's the other thing, is this rotates. This isn't all-time bestsellers, right? This is
it seems to be weekly.
Yeah, it's over a period of a week or whatever. So it's what's currently hot, and that's also right. At some point, there's going to be games that were, a 10 million seller in their day, but it's now been 5 years and nobody gives a shit anymore. So those shouldn't necessarily be on the bestseller list.
We're looking at you, Overcooked. No.
Or whatever. I mean, on the flip side, that maybe they should have a separate category for all-time bestsellers, so that some of these older classics can get rediscovered by people. We'll see. They need more organization, but again, we're going to be paying $20 for online, so they should be getting that right.
They won't.
Speaking of games with online, we did finally get some more details about a game that we all were hoping would be online, and that is Super Mario Party. We're kind of getting online with it. There's a mode called Mariothon, which this was covered in the Treehouse section of E3. It's basically 5 rotating mini games that you can play online, and it's going to have leaderboards, rankings, and rewards for doing well in those games. But there is no full online experience that we were hoping for.
So it's the controlling Cappy equivalent of multiplayer.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it's a real kind of half-assed. It's
like its own mode though.
That bad.
But it's basically like Cappy. It's a crappy add-in thrown in just so that they can say, look, it's got online. You know what I mean? And I'm shocked because I was the one who predicted and argued with you guys and said no, there's no way they'd launch Mario Party with the launch of their online service and have it not have. I was certain full online functionality, or at least with relatively minor limitations. This or that mode you can only do local, but the majority for sure I was positive would have to be. And from what we're hearing, it really sounds like it is only going to be just some little side throw-in thing. Oh, you can play this thing online, but the main majority of the game not at all.
And I was expecting all or none like you. I figured it's everything or it's nothing. I didn't figure they'd say we'd make some other mode out of thin air just so we could say it's got online.
That does not, I have to say, that doesn't bode well for their online service as a whole.
Exactly.
Based on what you were saying earlier, Eric, I do agree with that. That to me says, what are they planning to offer us for our $20 other than some free crappy NES titles?
Cloud save.
I think they're really conservative about their servers, but to me, at $60
they tend to be.
If I want to play Kirby, I should be able to play it multiplayer online with you guys. If I want to play Yoshi, if I want to play Mario Odyssey, whatever they have, if it's got a 2-player mode, I should be able to play it online with you guys.
I would think, and that's a standard thing on every other console and on PC. There's like on Steam, local multiplayer on a PC game is a relative rarity. Online multiplayer is everything. You know what I mean?
Playing online has made me realize how much I hate split screen.
Yeah, I mean, and again with a Switch, playing online, is the same thing as playing wirelessly with somebody else in the same room. There's no real fundamental difference other than, yes, we expect you to have some sort of infrastructure, on the internet to support it, but that's just, for God's sakes, that's an expectation of any online game for the past 15 plus years from any developer anywhere ever. So come on, Nintendo. I'm sorry. You just need to get with the program here. But it really makes me feel like, okay, we're going to pay $20. We're going to get some neat little online stuff here and there, but the games aren't going to change. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole problem.
Yes.
The whole problem that I can't just drop into a Mario Kart match when my friend is playing single player and never been able to. They have to be only in the one specific correct mode that I can join them in. There's no way to send them an invite to say, hey, hop on and join me for some rounds of Mario Kart, for example. I'm just using Mario Kart as the example. But it's just, these are just, again, standard features for now 2 generations that consoles have had. It's just, and again, if they're not announcing them for Mario Party, when are they coming? Because that's the launch of their online service. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Would have been a good one for multiplayer online. Kind of. I still wouldn't buy it.
I would think the number of copies they would sell, the number of hours that people would put into it. School kids these days, they're in school all day together in a classroom of 20 or 30 of them, and then they go home and they do their homework. They probably don't go out and see their friends, but they're sitting in their room in front of their video game console and they want to play something online. Mario Party totally is one of those things that kids would get on the phone and just hang out and chat while they're just playing Mario Party games, right? They just all hang out the same way we do on Fortnite. That's how your average kid plays games these days, is they're on some kind of group audio chat with their friends.
And they are playing Fortnite.
Or not. And they're playing Fortnite or whatever it is. But you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. It's just frustrating to me that Nintendo just doesn't understand that.
Yeah, it's like, what if they said Smash Brothers is coming, and this time, to make it even better, it's local play only.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be better
because it's about enjoying it with your friends.
But yeah, definitely.
Smash, like their online is always laggy. It's just awful. Well,
It's gotten better.
But we're paying $20 for that not to be the case now. And I think, right? How many of us are paying $35 for our alts?
For family?
I'm wondering if they'll have an upgrade option. You think they'll have like once you paid the 20, if they'll be like, at any point you can chip in that extra 15 and get your other stuff.
I don't know, because then it's like if somebody throws in $15 6 months in, well, I guess they can still do it. But it's just right. It's weird. The thought to me that I've got this console. Like my wife and I both have accounts on this Switch, but we're never going to be playing online at the same time unless we're both sitting down playing Mario Kart or something, 2-player online. Yeah. Do I need a family account for me to sit down and play Mario Kart and add my wife to play with me 2 players online? Like,
if you want to back up or save data, you do.
But as outside of that scenario, she and I are never going to be playing the Switch at the same time. Yet we both need an account, right? Or I need to get the family account so that we can both get online. That's.
Did she play Zelda at all?
Odd to me. Yeah,
I guess she started it, right?
Yeah, she played through. She basically played through the first 4 shrines, got off the main plateau, and got kind of to the first town, and then I sort of took over from there mostly. I mean, so she played the first 5, 6, 7 hours of it. And straight through, man, like obsessively. She was just like, she was immediately hooked into it. It was
that game hooked me. Sure. All
right. Speaking of Nintendo Switch Online, we did get finally something confirmed, which I think many of us have suspected, or I wouldn't say hope for, but NSO is going to be the Virtual Console successor. So Reggie, through a IGN E3 interview, has said it's going to be a slate of games. It's going to increase over time, and many will have online capability, which we already knew about. This is the vision we have for how to bring our legacy content to Switch. Is this so?
Maybe they should do a battle pass where if you pay the regular $20, you get these NES games, but then if you pay $10, you get some Super NES games and an N64.
No, but you have to actually play X number of hours of each.
Oh, that's right.
To unlock the
like
Super
Animal
NES
Crossing.
Games. Yeah. I don't know. Here's the thing. There's still details to be worked out. There's still a potential option to do a Wii U owner gimme. Like, if it's one of those things where these are going away, but you can pay, $5 to permanently, purchase this game or whatever, permanently add it to your library, right? Think about it like Voodoo or Movies Anywhere or one of those movie services instead of thinking about it like a Netflix, where there's rotating content that occasionally will pop up for free with commercials or whatever, but otherwise, you're buying stuff and adding it to your collection, and it's just your online collection. I could see them doing something like that, and that would give them an avenue. Yeah, no shit. The game pauses in the middle, and you get a 30-second ad, and then your game continues.
That'll be Fortnite's model in about a month.
Yeah. PUBG is the one that's going really downhill. Like they were $20 out of the gate, whereas Fortnite's free to play. And okay, that's you can argue that's kind of a weird, modern age undercutting of somebody that's a little maybe a little questionable. But PUBG has responded by trying to monetize the game as obsessively as possible. And
sue Epic.
And suing Epic and basically doing everything except from the reviews on Steam I'm reading, not working on the game, which is apparently has been horribly buggy for a long time, has a lot of things broken about it, and is also apparently has been completely overrun by hackers for a very long time. And they've really done nothing to address the issue.
Every online game is hackers with game genies.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. There's always a hacking thing to some degree or other, and it's more prevalent, of course, on PC than it is on consoles. And it's always a game of whack-a-mole to resolve it. But it's, from what I understand, PUBG, there's no whack-a-mole going on. There's just nothing going on.
How bad is the hacking on Splatoon 2, aside from...
I've never personally run into a hacker on either of them, so it happens. Well, it's even better now that they've got the video capture feature, because now if you were to see it, you could just take the little video clip and say, "Hey, Nintendo."
Yeah. Hey, Nintendo, some bastard forced me to play on a brand new map that you hadn't released yet. You need to get these people before they do it again.
I was traumatized.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for the new map.
I just wasn't ready for that, and now I'm gonna be disturbed for months and months because I was not. You were not prepared.
All right. So moving on, we've got quite a bit more here to cover, and it is all our favorite Nintendo celebrity, and that is Reggie. So one of the other things that has been greatly missing from the Switch is ports, of course, of games that
would say Reggie.
well, what about Reggie on the Switch?
He does get 1 week a year now to shine.
Yeah, he sure did shine this E3 with his after E3 really. So
his candid living room talks. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, so he's basically saying the reason we don't have any ports of third-party games on Switch right now is because the console cycle is years, not months, and the Switch is only 18 months old. But, and this is a quote from him, beginning at the end of this year or next year, the gap will have closed because key developers have had the development system since the beginning. So that's where all of our ports, our third-party ports that we don't have, are at.
Like, and that's why we don't have Netflix yet, or YouTube.
Well, that's not really
those developers just got the thing 18 months ago. So.
Yeah, maybe they've only had it for a year. Yeah. So basically, he's saying it has to be out 2 years before we see ports.
Well, I mean, it's like Z said several episodes ago. This
Unless
Reggie's
your
lied
PlayStation
that you
or
can't
Xbox,
really believe anything he says anymore.
In which they're ready to go at launch.
Yeah, and I think similar.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. But that's the thing. Every Nintendo is only ever getting ports. It's always waiting for ports. It's never releasing on all these systems and Nintendo Switch. But yeah, maybe that'll get better. Hopefully, I think our favorite port company had mentioned something about that as well.
But here's what I think Reggie's getting at is the games, and it wasn't when the Switch came out. It was when third-party devs finally decided, okay, the Switch is actually a player. So we will start when we start developing a game, we're gonna from the get-go, it's gonna be developed for a Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. Whereas before it was developed for Xbox, PlayStation, and the Switch was coming along afterwards. So I get what he's saying in that regard, is that we're to the point where any new games that were being developed, in the past year now have been developed with the Switch in mind alongside the other consoles. So that's the catch-up time. That said, that doesn't mean that there's more. Like, we've seen what we're getting. We're not in the late ports we've gotten. We haven't gotten Fallout, and we got Skyrim, we got Doom. We've gotten stuff here and there. That's what we're going to continue to get. We're not going to get more stuff. We're going to get the same kind of stuff we've gotten, but at the same time now instead of late. But you know what I mean? We're going to get like every 5th or 6th multi-plat, major multi-plat title, it seems like.
Yeah.
Right?
And they brag about how they had 2 million Fortnite downloads in 24 hours, but if the game cost $20, how many downloads would they have had?
Well, yeah, true. But on the flip side, this game has been out on everything except Android now for a year.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And presumably Nintendo's getting a little cut of Switch battle passes, maybe, or something. I would imagine they're
I
getting some
have
money
to imagine the way that
something.
works is there's some cut if it's purchased on your particular console. And we mention the Sony thing that they just keep digging themselves deeper?
No,
we didn't mention
on Fortnite. If you already had Fortnite on iOS or some other platform, and then you go log into your Fortnite account from Sony, it is locked forever to your PlayStation console. You can never log into your account again from any other platform. Even if you didn't create it on
Sony wins
Sony.
E3. Your Fortnite account is console exclusive.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of like EULA that you click on without reading that allows that, or they just did
Probably, but this isn't the first one. There's multiple other things, like you said. I think Mo about Rocket League. Sony was the biggest hurdle to their unified account system too.
Sony
right?
doesn't play well with others. Yeah, I mean Rocket League you can play with Xbox and PC, not Sony.
It's just
Minecraft you can play with Xbox and PC, but not Sony.
Sony will either have to change this, or they'll lose the console war. Like there are too many games. This is the future. Multi-platform, multiplayer online games are the future. They're the biggest growing segment of gaming and have been for years. Sony is taking themselves out of the game by doing this. You know what I mean? The longer this goes on, the more people are going to decide not to buy a PlayStation. I mean, I know they're winning this console generation, but this will be their Achilles heel. This is what will bring them down if they don't stop this shit.
Isn't everyone in danger of losing the console war? Because there's rumors that maybe the mobile games
consoles
will just
won't
take
last.
over.
Yeah. Well, but Sony and Microsoft keep themselves relevant by competing, on the side with Roku and Fire Sticks and those kinds of things as well.
Yeah, and I think there's always going to be a desire to play something on a screen bigger than your phones.
Yeah,
as well.
That's true.
Yeah, and it's there's always going to be a desire for something that can do high-end gaming of some type or other versus
Superior
what a phone
graphics.
can do. Yeah. And bigger and just more processing, bigger worlds, etc. That said, once again, Fortnite, apparently the iOS version has really impressed people. I hear the same kinds of things about it that I heard about Panic Button's port of Doom to the Switch kind of thing.
It's pretty good for the processing power.
Yeah, it does the job. That's kind of the same. Actually, that's about the same thing I hear about porting Fortnite to the Switch as well. It's just Switch is just good enough to do it.
Yeah.
What else we got tonight?
All right, so moving on to more Reggie, which we all love. So basically, if you haven't heard, after Nintendo's press conference, or rather their digital event, as they call it, their stock dropped pretty severely. I believe it was down 7.19% after that same day.
That was more than I heard.
So
that's accurate.
Always a sign of a good E3.
Yeah. And that's what's brought on a lot of these Reggie comments. And Reggie come out after this and says, okay, we understand this has happened, but there's a lot, and this is a quote from him, there's a lot more up our sleeve and a lot more we have to show in the weeks and months ahead.
That kind of BS is only going to carry them so far. This is already, people are already looking at this, right? We as gamers are looking at the past year. Now all of a sudden we got Fortnite, we're playing the crap out of it. But outside of Rocket League and Splatoon, we have not had much of anything to play since November. And there's quotes like, "Oh, we just want people to play the games they already have." Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? After the Wii U, you're going to even try to say something like that and think it's going to go over at all? No. I mean,
every time they make a new costume in Mario Odyssey, I hop in and buy it and hop out and don't play anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, but it's that's right. That's them keeping more content, adding content to keep you interested. But a new costume to hop in and like, it's 5 minutes of play you get out of it for not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes of play you get out of it for once a week. How often do they do that?
Once a month.
Not even that. It might not even be monthly. It's pretty rare when they
I'm pretty
coming out with stuff.
Am I hearing somebody playing something in the background?
I don't hear it.
Not that I know of.
Nope. You were hoping it was
Jealous?
Fortnite.
Yeah. Jealous.
No, I was pretty sure I was hearing somebody playing something in the background.
What does it sound like?
Fortnite.
Max is playing Flappy Bird.
Oh, Fortnite.
Max playing Flappy Bird with a machine gun.
That's because you're just hearing it. I'm sure as you close your eyes at night, you start hearing the glowing of the chest. It's just somewhere. I know it's around here somewhere, damn it.
It's either under me or it's above me.
Do I need to build? God, I'm going to have to build, and then I hope I don't break the floor.
That it's on. Yeah.
And then you find out it's just a vending machine that requires 400 whatever material.
No,
I was hearing it on your system. Yeah.
No. That's over that too. Yeah, I'm hearing it over your headphones. No, my favorite is you open the chest that you just fought your way to get to, and it's got a boogie bomb, a handgun, some ammo, and like
a brick,
and the shitty potion. Yeah, and a brick
and a pistol. Can you tell we like Fortnite? Anyone? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It's sad that our podcast just rotates. Like on any given evening, our podcast is mostly going to be about whatever the hell game was we've been playing most of this week.
Of course, we're
at least this time. It's probably what everyone else is playing a lot of too. I would think.
Was a year or 6 months ago anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's all relatable.
I don't think we've ever had a podcast without talking about Splatoon, though, right?
No.
Very rarely.
That's in there.
Oh, we have had one. Okay.
That's why people listen here.
We've also never had a podcast without interrupting Jason like 3 times in a row. What were you saying, Jason?
That's true.
I have no idea what I was saying.
You're saying Reggie's got some good quotes.
Yeah, I was talking about Reggie before, but just kind of moving on from what he was saying. I love the things that he named that were, not only was there more things coming, but the things he named that were going to keep it going. This is exceptionally strong third-party support, which that's what they've been saying.
For Nintendo, it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
got checkers. Oh,
yeah. I just and Uno.
Tic-tac-toe. No, yeah.
But
Astro Bears.
But this is what that 7% drop. That's investors going, wait a minute. Like this is smelling so much like the Wii U right now.
My heart dropped more than 7 points after he.
Yeah. No, this is smelling so much like a looming Wii U right now, despite strong hardware sales, despite little Diego from Venezuela, who's got a Switch, and a million other kids like him, millions of other kids like him, probably 10 million at this point around the country that have Switches.
For those of you out there who have not played with Diego, he's a kid we played Fortnite with. You might have lost some people. They're like, why the hell is he talking about some kid from Venezuela?
I don't know how old everybody is here, and I'm not going to call anybody out. All I'm going to say is I think I might technically qualify for my mid-40s at this point. And it's still weird playing games with 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
And seriously direct them, no, don't go over there, man. You're going to get shot. Yeah, no, barricade yourself, under the stairs here, and, just try to stay quiet.
Yeah.
He was a nice kid, though. We're not trying to throw shade there. He was a nice kid.
No, totally,
Yeah.
totally nice kid. Well, and that's part of what makes Nintendo more so than anybody else.
Well,
right?
What's unique about our generation too is we can keep up with a 10-year-old at video games at our
That's
advanced
true.
age.
Yeah. We are the first. Yeah, we are the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
generation to be that has grown up with them to the point that it's like, oh,
Yeah.
like right. What are the
We
kids?
don't need our kids to show us how to use a cell phone or to program the VCR.
Exactly. Yeah. I love being able to. I would love being able to jump in and see what's the hot new thing that my, high school age nephew is playing, and
You don't
just
understand.
be able to drop in and just destroy him at it. Right?
Yeah.
Like you rolled into to Fortnite and got a Royale win right off the bat, or not right off the bat, but in relatively short order, you got a 100-man solo win. Nice job, but right, you're an old man. You're a dirty old fart.
In your face, 10-year-olds. You got knocked the F out.
Eddie's home.
Beauty.
It's funny. Everything that Reggie says goes back to Fortnite.
It's true. It's amazing how that works.
YouTube and
Well, that was really their biggest game this E3, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was there. It's the only thing. I mean, it was the thing that dropped during E3. It really was their biggest announcement.
Yeah.
Their biggest bam, wow, here it is announcement.
Yeah, and Mario Party was the only one we didn't know about.
It's been on phones.
We didn't care about it.
Yeah, and Mario Party's run its course. I might get it, for the children. But
was Reggie talking about anything else, Jason? Tell us about some new, great, exciting things.
Oh, basically, just the same old stuff. He did say that 3DS business is still doing well, and there are new games on the way, which is kind of a surprise. Let's see. He said Mario Kart World Tour, more information coming closer to launch.
He's on damage control. I mean, I think I mentioned before, we all know that E3 isn't super important for Nintendo as much as other companies, because Nintendo does constantly give you information year round. In their little directs, but
not that other companies don't, but yeah, Nintendo has always had that history of basically formatting their own infomercials.
But I can't believe they're so out of touch that they don't know that E3 is in some way a fun little friendly competition, even if it's just for advertising your crap. And that you bust out the big guns, you wow people so people talk. And instead, it's like, what are they talking about? How shitty their E3 was this year.
Yeah,
that's
the optimistic ones are like, well, we got some more details on Smash, so that was good, but that's all you can say. If Smash isn't for you, then this E3 wasn't for you.
And even if you are a Smash fan, I think a lot of people are still feeling pretty disappointed.
Yeah, get used to it.
All right, well, we should wrap up, and there is one more topic which was out of the blue, and I wanted to mention this before we forget about it.
Fortnite?
And that is that it was Fortnite, but we've already covered that.
I'm sure it's related somehow. Just give me a second.
We'll find a way.
So Disney has a partnership with Nintendo, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
They're making a show about the Switch and its games, and it's called Nintendo Switch Family Showdown Contest, which that sounds very Japanese, like poorly translated Japanese.
Yeah. It also sounds very ill-conceived.
Yes.
It's a competitive game show, which, I mean, when we were kids, they used to have, or when some of us were kids anyway, they used to have some TV shows that were like based around Super NES or arcade games even, and Genesis games where, you'd answer questions and then there'd be like a playoff challenge where you play a quick game of, well, what's in this? Probably going to be Mario Tennis or whatever, but
Mario Odyssey.
I don't know what kind of staying power this is going to have, but yeah, Nintendo is finally in bed with Disney. So
nobody's gonna watch this. There's no the modern streaming phenomenon is not the same thing as a game show, not by a long shot. This is not going to work. It never has. They've tried to do these video game shows for years, and they're just
never
terrible,
fun,
and they're boring. They're never interesting. They always have like annoying, announcers, and they just I don't know. They
look at that kid racing his
things.
dad in Mario Kart. It's so exciting.
Yeah. It's just there's and again, this is for me coming from a generation like watching video games is just so weird. Again, unless you have a stake in it, you're watching your friend from your team in Fortnite.
There we go.
That'd be awesome if Disney was airing pickaxe bludgeonings on their channel.
Right. When you die in Fortnite, you're watching your friend. It's a social thing. You're talking to your friend. In a lot of cases, your friends, your friend's success is still your success because it's still your team.
Right.
But this, let's remember also, this is on Disney. This, like the Mario movie and so much else, is not for us. And maybe kids out there will enjoy watching a big advertisement for Nintendo Switch and bug the crap out of their parents to buy them a Switch because they saw how much fun these kids were playing Mario Tennis. Or
could it be kids like our friend Diego from Venezuela?
It very possibly could be. In between Fortnite matches, he probably takes a lunch break and watches a little Disney Channel.
Does anyone think it's a little? Does anyone question like that 10-year-old had a number one
with a big glass of pulpless orange juice?
Yeah,
that's true.
The 10-year-old had the number one thing in Fortnite, so that means he's is it disturbing to anybody that our 10-year-olds in this country are playing games where they're dropped on an island with 100 people and have to fight?
It's Lord of the Flies out there, man.
A little bit.
Yeah, he knew all the weapon names and everything.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter was interested in it. I was playing it over at my mom's house this weekend on her TV, and my daughter just saw the icon and like wanted to see what it was, and then she wanted to play, and I was just like, man, I can't drop my 4-year-old onto an island with a bunch of savages, machine guns and machetes and whatever else.
None of those characters
bad enough drop her in Splatoon. No, they don't.
I did drop her.
I did
drop her in Splatoon. Yeah.
And just so you know, Eric, your avatar just rotates at random when you start.
Okay, yes. I did finally get a different avatar about the third time. So
yeah, and I think it occurred to me the logic behind that is in a 100-man, every man for himself match. You don't want people to be able to recognize each other and team up, right? The whole premise is it's a solo thing.
But you could show off your soloist by buying the battle pass and getting a costume of your choice. Oh.
Yeah, you stick out, but you're not. There's still dozens of other people with that same costume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only if you are in the very final stages of Fortnite and there's people watching you, which I think most people drop out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you could get notoriety. Or if you kill the same person a lot, then
or if you stream it on Twitch like Ninja does, who played Fortnite with Drake, and that was like the biggest thing ever on Twitch. I think the streamer Ninja played with the musician Drake one night, and his channel blew up. Ninja just announced he's been sponsored by Red Bull now. So he went from a Twitch streamer and he blew up so big that all of a sudden people are all giving him sponsorships now. So
maybe we should get a famous musician to play Fortnite with us.
Keep playing Fortnite, everybody. Yeah, or get a. We'll have a contest and we'll let.
We're not interested.
We're
not excited to watch play Fortnite because all we do is hide for 20 minutes.
If you want to play Fortnite with a Nintendo Open Air podcast, hit us up on Twitter. And, maybe we'll add you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No reasonable request refused.
Yeah. I'll only play one match. I mean, don't get a big head about it.
We won't show you all.
You're not our friend.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Not all of us are as cold-hearted as.
I mean, you're talking to number one battle royale right here.
All right. Well, I think it is definitely time to wrap up. So thanks for tuning into the Nintendo Fortnite podcast. And thanks for listening to all of our ramblings tonight.
The only podcast that talks about Fortnite.
And only Fortnite.
And only Fortnite on Nintendo Switch.
Almost.
Switch.
All right. So thanks for watching. And as always, you can hit us up on Twitter at NOA_podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Share your Fortnite memories with us.
Wow.
And of course, you can listen in on YouTube, on Stitcher, and iTunes. So thanks for watching, and see you on the field.
Have a good night. I'm gonna go play some Fortnite, I think.
Yeah, I think I will too.
I think I will do.
Yeah, me too.
Party on, folks.
Night.
Night.
Hey.